This is Scott Kenkel with another episode of Tuesday Tidbits. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening. My inspiration for this episode, which is titled, Your Boss is Terrible. Maybe. I don't know for sure that your boss is terrible or not terrible. Maybe you'll agree that your boss is. But I was enjoying time with my granddaughters, and I got to thinking, it's neat being a grandparent. Because the job of being a parent is a job. You're in charge. You're in charge of these little people. We call them kids. And as the boss of the kids, it's your job to tell them what to do and help them grow up and be responsible adults, like we are. It's kind of neat. And yet, it's still a job. But as the grandparent, you get elevated to an expert status, like a mentor status. You don't have to do the work. You kind of get the chance to observe, participate if you wish, and then pack them in their car and send them home. It's kind of nice. Real estate has the same kind of a relationship, except one problem. You're in charge. That isn't the problem. The problem isn't that you're in charge. The problem is that in real estate, nobody tells you what to do. No one tells you what to do. They tell you what not to do. They tell you how to not end up in real estate jail. More times than not, what you're being told in real estate is not what to do, but nothing, which is kind of awkward if you don't know what to do. And you've heard me go through all kinds of things you should do, but see, I'm not your boss. Well, I am in some respect. I have a mentor group, and I tell them what to do. But here's the real challenge in real estate. If you're the boss and you're not succeeding or feeling some degree of success, then maybe your boss isn't that good at being a boss. Or, you're not going to like this at all, maybe you're a terrible employee. Because you're both. You're the boss, and it's your job to tell the employee what to do, and you're the employee, which means it's your job to do what the boss tells you to do. So if things aren't getting done, whose fault is it? Is it your fault as the boss or your fault as the employee? I don't know. You have to look inside yourself to find out. I want to share something with you, though. I think you'll enjoy it. One of the students that I've got in my current mentor group did what I told him to do, which is one of the benefits to having someone tell you what to do. So I want you just to listen, and I'm going to let him tell you what happened. Here we go.
Well, the last time we spoke, kind of shoved a commitment on you, and I didn't mean to do that. But I had said, I want you to at least commit to some hours of making dials. Did you manage to do that?
Hardest thing I've ever done, making cold calls, and I did part of it.
Okay.
I think I committed to doing 5 days of 1-hour calls. I did 2 days of hour calls. Well, in the first time, I think I made 21 calls in the first hour, and I decided to call for sale by owners, just ask them and see how things were going. And out of 21 calls, I spoke with, I think, 5 people, and the rest were voicemails. The second time I called on and I went to people that are selling bicycles. And I guess I was more comfortable talking to people when it wasn't really related to business. And actually got a listing appointment off of talking to somebody about his bicycle for sale. We talked more about his house, his goals, and what he wants to do, rather than which, I got his note on which bicycle he was selling, but he had some vintage bicycle for $1,500.
And the conversation went on, but the part I wanted you to hear is here's an agent who is the boss. He's his boss. He's the boss of his employee, which is him. And yet, he never told himself to do what I told him to do. I told him, as I've told you, in different varying degrees, make calls. And he made calls. Now, the interesting part was in one of our mentor sessions where he started talking about this. And if you listen to it, you'll hear him. He kind of stutters on this because it was the hardest thing he had ever done. But he did it. And that's the whole point. He did it. So, whether you're a grandparent watching your children be in charge of their children, or maybe you're a parent in charge of your children, or maybe you're in real estate and you're in charge of you because you are. You need to tell you what to do so that you get out there and do it. And if you're not doing it, then maybe you need to rethink your boss. I hope this helps, and I really hope that all of this makes a difference. This is Scott Kenkel. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen, and Happy learning.